So, it looks like this is going to have to be a jump cut. I know how to use iMovie, it's just it annoys me sometimes for splicing vids together. I have no idea what I was saying before the phone rang. I get Avon is harping my mom, who is a representative, but she's not really as active as she used to be in the organization. Okay, do you work with particular deities? As for like who's considered a deity, then yes, I work with Ganesha. He reached out to me. Santa Muerte, she reached out to me. Um, Now we kind of start getting into the hairy, splitting fine hairs, problematic world of what counts as a deity. So just brace yourself. Work with the Buddha. I've journeyed to him. He's given me a mantra that, unless I've Googled it many times under a lot of spellings phonetically, and to my knowledge, it's not Sanskrit. So, which was Om Srinana Hutata. So whether or not you consider that, because different schools of Buddhism will consider Siddhartha Gautama something different, but that is not even another video. That is a 1-hour History Channel special on Theravada versus Mahayana Buddhism and their different ideas and schools. Jesus, Mary, Mother Mary, sort of earth goddess. There's lots of room in my paganism for everyone, and it's pretty much anyone who's helpful. Fairies, if you consider them divinity, spirits of the land. I have a few relationships with mountain spirits, lake spirits. So once again, matters on what you think of divinity. Okay, moving on to number 10. How did the universe begin? Will it end? And does it have a purpose? Jeez. Okay. How did it begin? Not sure. I like the purpose idea of like we're here to learn, and so then source or spirit learns through us. The learning aspect just makes sense to me. I also, and whoever made it, I've just come to the fact. Well, Sandra Ingerman says whoever created this world has a sense of humor, and it's just like there are days, especially now, that you just have to think that. Because if not, this place can be pretty depressing. Will it end? I don't know. That's not for me to say. And maybe, I don't know, think about... Because then, like, does it count as an end if there's, like, a rebirth? Like, because as much as everyone's like, Ragnarok is the end, it's like, well, no. Like, there's a certain amount of people survive, and, like, there will be a repopulation. Balder will come back from the underworld as the leader. So that's not, once again, things I don't think about, and now I'm like, should I be thinking about these things? Oh goodness. Number 11. How does consciousness work? Do all things have consciousness? Is the universe conscious? How does consciousness work? I don't know. Maybe ask Terrence McKenna. He could probably tell you better. I haven't had many, like, I guess higher dimensional would be the best word for it. Moments. There are moments when I felt like connected to everything, but it didn't feel like how movies and TV and then people describing it. Those aren't good benchmarks, I realize, of like what it feels like. And I'm kind of under the impression now that a lot of this metaphysical psychic stuff is a lot more subtle than people bring it on to describe it to be. So, like, coming from the guy who can, like, smell people from a mile away. So, not a mile away, but, like, I have glasses, but I didn't really wear them for a good portion of my life. So I was, like, used to it. So I would be able to, like, tell people by their smell or what perfume they wore a lot. And sometimes I still get some of my subtle impressions through my nose. It's like, why am I smelling sandalwood for no reason? So stuff like that. Do all things have consciousness? I'm an animist, so yes. As for technology, I think it kind of takes on sort of impressions of the consciousness that uses it a lot. Like, I found that people's phones seem to have the same energetic blueprint, almost like they take on a replica of the aura of the person who, like, uses it a lot. So that's what I find. It's just like computers, and matters on like who uses them. Plus, it's like we name our things and they have personality. Like, my MacBook here used to, at the start, would do weird things, and so my MacBook was named Maybelline, because maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know if I've just gotten used to crazy things happening on this, or if the operating systems have just greatly improved since OS X Lion. I don't even remember which one that would be. Because now we're on El Capitan. Yeah. Although, funny story, when it was Yosemite, I thought it was Yosemite, and I thought there was a picture of a mountain from Yosemite, and I just thought, like, Yosemite was the rock that mainly made that formation. I'm just like, you know, we've run out of big cats. You know, Apple's like, we're gonna start doing mineral specimens that no one's heard of. So yeah, and is the universe conscious? I've just had to come to yes. As for how it's conscious and how it works, I don't know. I just know that it is from experience, and I just don't have the experience to explain how it is. But I just know there are. And we're only at 7 minutes, so moving on to 12. Are there other realms, worlds, dimensions, realities, universes? I say yes, because I have had out-of-body experiences. For this longest time, I was really trying to astral project, and I'm mediocre at it. But I remember once, in college, leaving my body and, like, hovering above my bed area, and, like, the way it was a dorm, so it was, like, my closet was right there. And I remember, like, being able to see the top of my closet and all the things on top of it, which wasn't much, because I had one of those, like, really big storage beds where you, like, jack it up. And then I remember seeing just, like, one of the dressers just, like, floating midair. And so that's why when people are like, the fourth dimension is a blueprint that's, like, almost finalized. And so in the fourth dimension, that's why people are like, you can adjust things. So, another thing I've experienced to be true. As for other realms, in shamanism, yes, I've experienced, like, the upper world, lower world, and then with my friend who does more Nordic shamanism, I've been to Vanaheim, haven't really been anywhere else. But yeah, I would love to, you know, travel around to other worlds. And there's also, like, they have worlds between worlds in Nordic shamanism. Dimensions, I guess, I don't really use that terminology anymore. Realities, definitely. Either whether I'm, like, hopping universes sometimes or, like, hopping timelines. There's these things that I'm like, that happened, like, a few months or, like, years ago. Like, when the whole, like, Ophiuchus the 13th sign thing happened recently, I was like, didn't we have this back in 2000... It was like 2010, 2011. I was like, I distinctly remember this, and I remember all the hype that came with it. It was like exactly the same. So, and that was a whole kerfluffle. Which maybe when we get to information on astrology, I'll explain the difference between the sidereal zodiac and the tropical zodiac, and maybe some of the differences between Western and Vedic astrology. Yeah, dimension. As for universes, I've heard some people say that, like, any other universe in the multiverse is, like, so radically different than ours that it's pointless to talk about it, because it's not really going to give us any information. But it's like, also the teacher that was talking is very, like, focus on the now. By the way, not Edgar Tolle. This is not Edgar Tolle. Edgar wouldn't talk about this. You're probably picking up from the impressions who I'm thinking of. that they're very, why are we talking about levitation when we should be talking about people's emotions? So, there's that. We did 9, 10, 11, and 12. See, it's good that I can do these in groups, or else you would just get like 3-minute videos of me just talking, which I don't think is helpful for you. Of course, there's others like 14 is about entheogens, so that one is probably going to be on its own and maybe be like a 25-minute video essay monologue. Right? Having fun with these. Have a good week, guys.